I bring all the 나로 시작되는 drama.
Most of my videos are about truth and facts, but today is going to be my personal opinions. If you're allergic to opinions, then you're one click away from avoiding a trip to the ER. I'm making this video because the K-pop industry is already cooked, deep fried, digested, and marinating in the sewer. My opinions aren't gonna change a single thing. However, I thought it would be an interesting video to express my personal opinions on the K-pop industry. If you hate him so much, I have a solution. Ignore him. I get that you may not agree with his choice of style, or you may feel offended by it, but dragging this guy over every little thing is not going to make him vanish into oblivion. As a black person, he doesn't personally bother me, but if he bothers you so much, then don't give him attention. Honestly, I think his style is just a publicity stunt. Their company knew that would catch people's attention, whether good or bad. So, do I think he's a little corny? Yes. Am I going to go out of my way to cause drama and hate on him? Bro, no. If you like him, awesome. If you don't like him, great. Y'all are really out here doing the most, trying to bomb this guy's career. Take a look at this performance. Nails, hair extensions, makeup style, outfits, choreography, etc. If a girl group did their exact concept, it wouldn't be categorized as genderless. I'm not going to go into depth on this. One, purely because I just think their concept doesn't make sense to be classified as genderless. To me, X Love's concept is just more of a feminine or girl group style rather than genderless. Y'all hating on these kids, as if they personally offended you. Every time I open YouTube, it's a news video on some Porty's backlash, and just straight up trolls and haters, making comments about their looks and height. They're literally teenagers. I personally don't condone or support underage boys and girls debuting, however, if their concept and outfits are age appropriate, and if they're having fun then. So what if their music isn't good? These kids already go through enough being thrown into the K-pop industry. Just because their music is not what you expected or wanted does not give you the right to bully them, especially over things beyond their control. This is something I will forever stand by. I'll give you some examples. Nugents and their love for Minheejin, their executive producer that exploited and sexualized them. Subin casually dropping that him and Taehyun were physically abused as trainees. Now I'm not saying they don't see a problem with it now, but at the time, they probably didn't. There are so many examples of producers, stylists, and choreographers giving inappropriate concepts to minors. And Hypen's Fever and Bite Me, Baby Donkry's F-Girl, Nugent's is Cookie, Baby Monster's Billionaire and like that, Illit's Baby It's Both Tic Tac English version, Cat Size Gnarly, etc. And these kids just got to roll with it, probably not even seeing a problem with it at the time. Until one day, they might finally see they were deliberately being sexualized and exploited by their producers, choreographers, songwriters, creative directors, etc. for attention and money. If you've seen the majority of my videos, you probably know how I feel about this subject by now. Company execs, founders, and creative directors refuse to keep their greedy, money-hungry hands off these kids. If the only thing you can do with them is exploit and sexualize them, then don't debut them at all. They don't care about these kids, mental health and trauma it causes, children being thrown into the music industry. The parents deserve to be condemned and criticized as well. I would go more into depth on this one, but we'll save that for a future video. This speaks for itself. Bang Si-hyuk dug a deeper hole for himself for that comment he made about the Hypen members when they were underage. Just by the way, they have to have at least one minor in every group they debut. Just shows you everything you need to know. Are you protecting your artist by giving kids choreography where they're opening their legs and body rolling? Is it protection when you're zooming in on a 15-year-old girl's butt? Is it protection when you're putting adult content in a song sung by teenagers? Are you protecting your artist by giving minors mini skirts and tube tops for outfits? How is it protection when the majority of people attending these concerts where teenage girls are performing are grown men? I'm tired of the excuses, justifications, and ignorance. And anyone who defends such behavior is part of the problem. For this, I'm going to be specifically speaking on Hypen purely based off of the fact I know more about them than I lit. Let's take it back to May 22nd, 2023, when Hypen dropped their EP Dark Blood. Now we know by now, when K-pop groups or solo artists drop new music, they usually have lots of promotions such as music shows, variety shows, interviews, etc. 2 months subsequent to their EP dropping, on July 11th, they released a single one and only a collab with Pokemon. Just a few weeks later, on July 31, their single Criminal Love dropped, 2 days after they began their second tour, Fate World Tour. 2 days later, on August 2nd, they released their Japanese single Blossom, and on September 4th, released Japanese versions to 2 of their songs from their recent EP Dark Blood. On September 8th, Baby Shark's Big Movie was released, starring Hypen, and their song from the movie was officially released in November. A few weeks later, on November 17th, they dropped their album Orange Blood. Now, mind you, This is all in the same year, as they're currently on tour. 6 months later, on May 13th, 2024, while still on tour, released their EP Memorabilia. FYI, in between all of this, they have other types of performances, interviews, and o'clock episodes to film, collabs with brands, etc. 2 months after their EP Memorabilia was released, on July 12th they dropped their album, Romance, Untold. After 2 more months of concerts, on September 1st, 2024, the Fate World Tour officially ended. Not even 24 hours after their tour ended, an official statement was released that their Walk the Line tour will begin in October. Unfortunately, this is not a joke. A few weeks into their third tour, they released a single, Home. A month into their tour, they released a new version to their recent album titled Romance, Untold Daydream with 2 new songs, also releasing a Japan edition a week later. 5 months later, while still on their third world tour, on April 4th, 2025, Enhypen dropped their single, Loose, followed by their most recent album, Desire, Unleashed, dropping just 2 months later, on June 5th. 1 month later, on July 27th, they released their new Japanese single Yoi. Now, as they are still on their world tour, doing interviews in the US, etc., Enhypen are talking about their new album and how great it's going to be. You cannot be serious. This group has not had a break in years, and I have no idea how they're still going. Is this normal? Am I out of the loop? Because last time I checked, it's pretty abnormal to be dropping multiple albums and EPs in the same year, followed by singles and world tours. And to be honest, as an Enhypen fan, their newer music is quantity over quality. Most of their B-sides on their newer albums are just mid. You'll have a few gems here and there, but their discography in the last few years is a hit or miss. After Dark Blood, Be-Lift really went, let's just release anything and everything. Overwork these kids until their souls are sucked out of their bodies. Scrape any dollar we can off this group. Collab, 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 tour after tour after tour. Members getting sick and can hardly perform? Y'all hear some? Throw them on stage. I feel like I can't even keep up with half the stuff Enhypen releases, because it's just so much. Too much. What I don't understand is why Be-Lift is treating Enhypen as if they're going bankrupt. The back-to-back tours, releasing music every couple of weeks, y'all good? Or is it just greed? That's all the opinions I have to share today. I have so many more, but those were the main ones that were on my mind. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you would like, share your own opinions. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.